Hey everybody, welcome to NFT Hype. Today we have a special guest that we all know and love in the wax ecosystem. It's Tobin Lent of Tops and GPK. Tobin, how you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing, Johan?
Doing great. Mike, what do you know about Tobin?
Well, Tobin is one of the most influential people in the Tops GPK/Wax universe, and we all have lots of questions for him about the next upcoming OS2 release. So we're excited to have him here.
Tobin is the reason why we all fell down the rabbit hole, isn't it? Like that first release of OS1. he was the mastermind behind
Yeah,
all of it.
pretty
So.
much.
Well, we're
Can you
kind
comment
of
on
new
OS1 at all, Tobin?
What's that?
What are your thoughts on how OS1 went and just the original sort of dive into the wax ecosystem?
Well, we're all kind of new in the rabbit hole together. We saw some rabbit holes and figured this was the best one to go into. So, yeah, I mean, it's a new space for us. We're still trying to figure it out, learning as we go. We tried to make the best first move we could, and I think it went pretty well. I mean, obviously, Garbage Pail Kids is a good way to lead into it, and we thought wax is a good choice too. We're still feeling pretty good about things. Obviously, we've done a couple more releases since that time.
Yeah. And speaking of which, you had the Crash Gordon release, which was a kind of cool niche release that you had on NFT Day. Why did you choose Crash?
Well, it was to us kind of a good time to do it. I mean, Goes Exotic is a riff off of Tiger King, and that was fun to do. And then obviously, Crash Gordon. I mean, it was just fun, and that was right time during our big Digicon event. So we were trying to do some kind of fun things, in between the big series releases. And I mean, I love Flash Gordon. It's, and it was something that it was a very small set. I think there were only 5 cards. And we just thought it would be fun as we were doing this digital fan fest. So we went with that. And I think it turned out pretty well. And it was the first time, by the way, that we offered a set for the wax currency and not credit card. So that was kind of new for us. And it was fun to try that.
Is that something we can expect to see for OS2 as well?
No, OS2 will be credit card. And, the big reason we're doing that is our hope is that we can grow this space and bring in some, mainstream collectors, maybe some physical collectors. And in order to do that, we want to try to remove as many barriers as we can. And that's one way to do it. We want to make it as simple as, hey, you set up an account like you would anywhere else, and you buy this good with a credit card like you would anywhere else. And so that's one of our main goals in doing that. And then, as you know, when you get into it, it's still not perfect. There are different NFT standards and different marketplaces to sell things. So we're just doing everything we can on the front end to bring in a lot more people.
Now, Tobin,
so is that why you went with the original? Go ahead, Johan.
Oh, one thing I've noticed is that some of the releases are either wax or credit card. Is there a challenge there to have both?
There's not really a challenge. I mean, I think we could probably do it. But again, we're just trying to make it simple. At the beginning, we figure, most people have a credit card. I know maybe some places they don't, would prefer the cryptocurrency. But, I think maybe we'll move to a hybrid down the road. But at the moment, we're just, again, trying to keep it simple. Do you think that people in the community would prefer to have that option?
I think they'd like to have both. Yeah, definitely. And that would help your payment gateways too, because then you would have 2 payment options. And then I think WCW and the credit card would have a little bit more like balanced load. So that might help sales as well.
Yeah, I agree.
What about Simple Assets? You guys decided to go with that again. You're using your existing platform. Is that the reason? You're just leveraging the tech that you guys currently have in place?
That's a good one. I mean, in my opinion, so the answer is that we really let Wax guide that, since they're helping us with the technical implementation at this point. So we're really leaning on them as a partner, and that was their decision. I know that we talked a lot about, you know, simple assets or you know, atomic, and it was close. But we just decided to go there. That was the easiest path forward right now. And I think that's one of those things that we need to find a standard and stick with it to make everything easier. It's just difficult to have to bridge to get different functionality even after the primary sale, but hopefully that gets sorted out soon.
So Tobin, I think everyone wants to know in the community, are we going to have Fran or Schizo Fran or both in this release?
That's a great question. I've heard that before. And the way I'm going to answer it is we've tried to do a lot with this set, put a lot into it, and we've also tucked in a few surprises that will not be published anywhere. So,
okay, lips are sealed for now until
How's the
September
sale?
30th. Go ahead, Mike.
How's the sale going to work? Are we going to have a set number of packs? Is it a timed release? What's the deal?
Yeah, we went back and forth on that. We are going to do a set number of packs, and I will say that we put a lot of thought into this, and we wanted to make sure that this was going to be accessible to as many people as possible. We didn't think it was a good experience for this to sell out so quickly. It surprised us, and so we're structuring this set. It's going to be a much bigger set. And I know that might scare some people, so I'll come back and talk about that a little bit, but it'll be a bigger set, so hopefully the sellout is a little slower. We are also distributing kind of different rarities in different packs, meaning that, you know, in one pack you'll get a rare variant that you won't in the other packs, and so on. And so hopefully that kind of spreads things out a little bit that way as well. But what we've really done is, you know, Series 2 is really big for us, right? Series 1 obviously is big. Series 2 is really big, and it's special. And we think about not only the short term, but the long term. And, you know, this will just be the beginning of the journey. And so we wanted to get it right. And what we've done is really structured it with a lot of goodies in it. So there's a lot of chases, you know, a lot of cards across the rarity spectrum, and you know, obviously base cards, but uncommon, rare, super rare, and epic. And there's a lot in those different rarities. And so it should be, you know, really fun for collectors to chase and provide a really good secondary market, and also, you know, a robust secondary market down the road. That's really the hope.
I missed
Cool.
I missed it
Any
there a little bit,
one-of-ones?
Tobin. Did you say that it was going to be a set number of packs, or under?
Yeah, it's going to be a set number of packs.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, because that was a bit different than what
And
we
do
had
we
got.
know?
Yeah, Mike's gonna ask what the number is.
Do we have card counts yet, or what?
We're not gonna say. You'll find out when we launch. But one thing I will say is, you know, we did really listen to the community about card counts, and so what we did structure it is in a way that there would never be really high card counts like there were with Goes Exotic. We kind of understood that we went, you know, a little too high on those.
Per character.
Even though in our mobile apps we do often have common cards that have pretty high card counts, but we listened, and so we really did structure it so that there are a lot more unique cards, and the card counts won't ever be too high, even on the base cards.
What about packs? Can you tell us anything about packs? Is it 5 cards, 25 cards, 30 cards?
I can. So we have 3 packs. You know, we have a standard pack that's $10, and there'll be 8 cards in that. Then we have a mega pack that's $25, and there'll be 25 cards in that. And then we have the ultimate pack, which is $50, and there'll be 55 cards in that pack.
Oh wow! And that's called the ultimate pack.
Cool.
That's awesome. Is there going to be a chance?
That'll be the big one.
Is there going to be a chance of more rare cards in any of those than others, or are they going to be equal across the board?
They are going to be equal. You know, there's that exception of there will be some rare cards. Some of the variants will be only in certain packs, which we think is going to be fun, right? So, for example, as an example. I don't know what's going in what yet, but like the gum variant would be in the standard pack, but maybe the slime variant is in the ultimate pack. However, we do give a chance for everybody in all those packs to go after the super rare and also the epic collector's edition. So everybody will get an equal shot at those.
Cool.
No prisms in this set?
No prisms. We wanted to do it a little bit differently. I mean, we do have sketch, but we wanted to make this, you know, a unique and different collection. And, you know, there's some other things that we're going to be adding in there too. We're you know, dropping a set that is basically a reimagination of the GPK characters for Series 2. It's called, you know, it's based on our 2014 Chrome. It's called Returning Characters. And so that will be in there as well as an uncommon base of cards. Will be fun to chase. And we also have, it looks like, some really cool, you know, original art that's going to be part of this set.
Interesting.
So it's total 10 variants, is that right?
It's going to be 5 variants, but you know, a lot of other goodies mixed in there. You know, the returning, the original art. You know, you could maybe consider the animations a variant, but I kind of consider them to be pretty unique. So it's really, you know, I consider it to be 5 variants.
Is the original art from the artists of the cards themselves?
You mean the original art?
Yeah.
The original art is another reimagination of some of the cards. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. What about gold? Is that going to be in there?
I can't say much about that. I don't know the plan, but I think we would probably do something very similar to what we did before.
Interesting.
For OS1.
That's right.
Speaking of OS1, do you have a favorite set in the universe, the GPK universe? Is there one, maybe OS1? Is there a favorite character that you have in OS1?
Well, I always say I like Junkie Jeff, because he looks like he could survive anywhere. He's, you know, just got access to everything. He's just kind of a crazy character, but they're all good. I actually think I like Series 2 a little bit better. I just think there's some really good characters in there. I think they just took it up a notch. You know, John Pound's the original artist on Series 1 and Series 2, and it just seems like he got a little bit better in my opinion. And you got Planet Janet, some really creative, you know, characters. But I could show you if you guys want to see.
Yeah, the color.
What's that?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All right, hold on a sec. We'll see how this works. Okay. It looks like you've got the host has disabled screen sharing, so I'll need you to enable that, and then I can share.
Okay, I'm gonna make you the host, and then you can share. And then you just need to make me the host right after.
Well, I'll think about that.
Yeah, I just lost my host privileges, didn't I?
Now I'm in control, gentlemen. I'm in control.
Tobin's running the show now.
That's right. It's my show.
Who's asking the questions now?
Okay, I'm going to try to put this in a slide.
So this is the gum?
Yeah, this is the gum variant. So again, it's different. You know, we've got some animation there, which makes it nice, but just, you know, we didn't want to do the same thing that we did before for Series 1.
That is cool.
Yeah, I like this.
It looks
This
awesome.
slime variant. It's really fun. And there's Jolted Joel, probably my favorite character in this set.
Awesome.
Are you a rocker? Is that why?
And his live
I'm not a
mic, is that
rocker. I
right?
just think he's got a lot of character. He's, you know, very ambitious, but things went a little off for him. This is one of the relics that'll be part of the collector's edition. And, you know, I like these nice touches where you have the animated relic in the middle there.
Those are cool.
Oh, cool.
And then, of course, my ultimate favorites of all time. And this is why I love digital, because you can get so creative. And the artist that we work with, Justin Gammon, just did an incredible job. But, you know, I always like to say, like, these cards have a lot of life as static cards anyway. but we can now bring them to life in a new way and make it almost a completely new collectible with these animations. But just
It's
a
so
great
awesome.
job with the detail on these little people that are terrified and running for cover.
Now,
Just
Tobin,
looks really good.
do you see yourself, like, when the display tech has advanced? Do you see yourself hanging up these cards around the office, or and having these animations going on all the time? Wouldn't that be cool?
It is cool. I tell you that I'm really excited about the future of these types of collectibles. And you'll see that one of our collectibles, actually, one of our variants is called Raw. And there's no nameplate, no nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, that would be amazing to have on a digital frame on the wall, to put those collectibles up there and let them cycle like actual art. But that's where I think this is all going, is you've got to have a really good way to showcase all of these cool collectibles and maybe your digital blockchain art and those things. And I think that is one area that's gonna develop, and we'll try to help by providing mechanisms to showcase your digital collectibles as tops. But I think other third-party vendors will do it as well. But you want to be able to show this stuff off.
Yeah,
Here's
for sure.
Black
Otherwise, it's just some random code in your wallet, right? So
Exactly. This
That's
is
cool.
Somebody said
any
this,
plans? Any plans? I love this guy.
Yeah, I like this guy.
don't drink and drive, kids. All right, I'm going to stop
Any
the
plans
share.
for to include NFTs in your traditional apps, your traditional digital apps? Is that coming anytime soon?
I think that's something we talk about a lot, and the answer is I think they're going to converge at some point. We're already having conversations about that, about how do you convert some of these into blockchain assets. But we've spent so much time on our mobile apps really creating a good experience, and if you go play those, there are a lot of features built around facilitating the community and trading and following people and opening packs and communicating everything across the board. There's fantasy gameplay in the sports apps. So it'd be nice to be able to start with all those features and then just really blockchain enable the assets. So we're looking into that.
Yeah, I think somebody in the chat, maybe it was Ben from Waxport, he mentioned that mobile is a great screen to show off these things. So you mentioned showing these things off, and the mobile screen is one of the best ones to show it. I personally would probably like it on a wall somewhere, but I know most people have a phone and would like to show it off on their phone. So
yeah, for sure. And that's something that we've obviously thought about, and it's relatively easy to do. So that's something probably you can expect in the somewhat near term.
Oh, interesting.
Do you guys have any news for us on the Tiger King burn yet?
Yeah, thanks for I feel bad about that one, badly about that one, because I announced it, and we ran into a bit of a technical hurdle really around the different NFT standards, because we're in simple assets and getting over to Atomic, and even though there's a bridge, that wasn't going to work out quite as smoothly as we thought, and Wax isn't quite ready. They don't have a burn mechanic yet, so we're trying to figure out the best way to do it. We will do it, and I guess my apologies to the community that we couldn't do it when we wanted to do it, but we'll get on it. We'll solve the problem, and it'll happen.
I guess the only thing you can burn at this point is the Crash Gordon, because they're on Atomic assets, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Is there any thought about doing that?
We'll probably do more of those types of things down the road. I mean, again, in our mobile apps, that's a fundamental part of the apps we always have. We call it crafting over there, and you can actually combine not only like 10 of one base card, but you can actually 10 of a base card, 2 of a rare to make a super rare. So it's almost like recipes, and people really like that.
What about?
Cool.
What about integrations? Like, I know you said in the chat that you're supportive if other people use your cards and NFTs in gaming. However, wouldn't they need your permission to do that? Like for, let's say, another project wanted to use an atom bomb NFT within their game. If that's not something you're actively developing and it's something that the community is doing, how do they go about getting your sort of permission for that?
That's a good question, and I'm not technically. I'm not sure how it works. I know that we do have the ability to, maybe prohibit somebody from doing something, because obviously, look, our brands are very important, and not for ours. We're setting an example, for Disney and Star Wars and MLB that, hey, this is a good thing. You should be doing it. So we don't want to have any big missteps and have our content next to something, salacious or anything like that. So. We want some control, but what I would just say is, look, I would love to see some developers, come forward and try to do something. And if you bump up against some technical hurdles, you can contact us and we'll figure out a way to support you. But I'd like to see it happen. I think it's going to be very good, for the property on blockchain. I think it's going to be very good for the secondary market. So we're supportive, and we'll have to monitor how it all goes. Obviously, we're trying to build a business. This is our property. So we want to be mindful of that, but we also want to be supportive. And this is something I'm personally, my background's in games, so I would love to see something like this happen.
Are you guys looking at any other chains yet? Or are you're committed to the Wax ecosystem?
We're pretty committed. I mean, we're investing in this, obviously, and, we like the team. At Wax a lot. We obviously want to be aware of everything that's out there. So we always do look around and, are keeping our eyes open for new opportunities, because things are changing so fast. But, we really do like the Wax platform so far.
Going back to gamification, are you guys actively working on something, or is that something that's out of like your business model? Like you're not really a gaming shop, obviously, so but you would be open to collaboration with others?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think, a lot of the way that our licenses are structured is, we are about collecting, and we can do a lot of clever and creative things around that collecting mechanic, but that's also what makes Topps unique. If we just go out and create a trading card game, we're competing against Blizzard or somebody like that, and that, we have the opportunity to do something that's wholly Topps and wholly unique. And so we're really interested in those kinds of opportunities, which is why, that's where we focus. In terms of Garbage Pail Kids, we don't really have any restrictions since it's our own property. So I think we're more open, but again, I think it's best if it really does fit into the collecting mechanic and is uniquely Topps. So I think that's one thing we'd look at.
Are we going to see baseball and some of your other licensees come on board?
We're definitely talking to our partners. They're all very interested in blockchain. So we're having very active conversations, and we're hoping that, we can do some things pretty soon here.
Cool. Yeah, we're going along here. We've really hit you with some really tough questions there, Tobin, and you've answered them pretty darn well. Mike, do you have any more that you can think of?
Well, I guess the main one on my mind is, do you guys have a plan for marketing OS2? And could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, that is a really good question. I know that's come up. I'm in the Telegram channel sometimes. I've got a lot going on, but I do try to peek in there and see whatever I can see. I don't see everything, of course, but I know that's come up. We haven't done as much on the other series just because, again, we're still learning about the space, and we just didn't want to use all of our marketing muscle then until we sorted some things out and figured some things out. But now, we do have an interest in trying to lean in and help to build that community. So we're doing more. So I just got off an interview with, Jeff Ruckel, who does GPK News, and, the hope is to bring in some traditional collectors, and we'll start to blast this out in our social channels, which I think we're doing. We're going to feature it on a Twitch stream tomorrow. So we're doing a lot of things beyond what we've done in the past. I know that going forward, what we want to do is I'm working with the brand manager of Garbage Pail Kids on the physical side of our business, and we want to start dropping in redemption cards.
Awesome.
Absolutely, yeah, it'd be great and allow you to unlock a blockchain card. I think that will really help as well.
Yeah, for sure. We've heard that from several physical collectors now that they'd really like to see that, and that they think that would pull other collectors in as well.
For sure.
And when you look at your market, is that the low-hanging fruit, your existing collectors, obviously? And who would be the other ones that would be kind of like you're on the radar to become fans and collectors of the digital cards?
Well, I think, yeah, it's obviously garbage pail collectors are the place to start because they're most interested in the property. And what my pitch has been to them so far is this is a historic. This is the first time that Series 1 and Series 2 have ever been digitized. And it's also the first time, really some of the first NFTs to be minted on the blockchain. And so, just for that reason, if you love the property, it's easy enough to go in and pay with your credit card, but spend $10 to get a piece of history, if nothing else, and see how it goes. And I think when people do that, then they'll kind of start to get into it a little more, and the mysteries a little bit has been lifted. So that's been, my pitch really to that community. Then beyond that, there is just the general Topps community and people that maybe are first movers. Sorry about that. First movers and that kind of thing. So, we will continue to see what works and broaden the circle of Topps fans that we go after.
In about 5 years' time, Tobin, where do you see this space, and where would you like to see it?
Well, I would love to see, very similar to what we have in our mobile apps, just a really big, robust community of collectors worldwide that form communities around the content that they love. I mean, that's what we're about in our mobile apps. It's really about the community of fans around Star Wars and Marvel. And if you think about blockchain, I think, when it gets to the point where the ease of use is there, that community could be massive. It could be worldwide, and you get all the benefits, of blockchain, the absolute transparency, the trust that you have a unique asset, and you can track it to its source to, make sure it's authentic. So there's a lot to it. So that's where I think it's going to go. And I'm excited to be part of that, and just growing that really big, community of digital collectors that are part of this.
Now, are you yourself a collector? Like, do you go on to the markets and buy stuff?
Yeah, I do. I collect a bunch of different things. I don't think I'm like really into one thing, but I enjoy, a bunch of different things. When I was a kid, I collected Cal Ripken baseball cards, and I don't know if you've been following our Project 2020, but I got a really cool card that I just got from there. I collect, bottles of bourbon and all kinds of crazy stuff, Unfortunately, I drink most of my collection there, but
that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it?
I guess so. But anyway, it's fun, and I'm very active in our digital apps actually, because I genuinely love it. I've been collecting Star Wars stuff all the time and just marveling at the art and trading, which is a blast, a complete set. So. And I just kind of enjoy the fandom, really. So that's what gets me into the collecting part of it.
Oh, that's a good point. Any plans on upgrading the trading feature on toppsgpk.io? Currently, it's lacking mints is one of the major features. And we would love to see a P2P improvement there.
Yeah, well, you're right. Absolutely, Mike. There needs to be an improvement there, and we're working on that. We've got quite a few things to kind of work on. I know Wax is again helping us right now. I think we might start to put more of our own resources on the app to kind of start to build it out a little bit more, so it's similar to our mobile apps. So we're working on it. We know we need to.
Cool. Is there a favorite project that you have other than Topps products on the Wax blockchain right now? And what is it about them that you like?
I don't know. I'm all in on the top stuff. I don't have any time to do anything else.
Nice.
I mean, seriously, it's like, the mobile stuff and then blockchain, and I can barely, keep it on top of all that. I think blockchain is really my project, right? because our mobile business is really growing, and so blockchain is the new one that I'm really excited about. In fact, one of the reasons I wanted to join Tops in the first place was I thought blockchain was going to be interesting because of the secondary market opportunities and all the downstream opportunities, like we were talking about the games. I mean, that was a big draw for me. So it's fun that I'm finally doing it, and anxious to hopefully just play my part, and for Tops to play its part to help build the space.
Now, Mike, how do you come up with these collaborations with the riff on different, like for example, Crash Gordon or Tiger King? How do you come up with one of those? Like, I know you're like a Halo fan, and you mentioned that you like that. Would we see like a GPK Halo version one day? Like, how do those things come about?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I hadn't even thought about that. Hold on.
Wait, let me just write that one down.
What's the mission on that? We usually do things. I mean, in GPK's history, it's obviously poking fun at everything. It's parodying everything, and we've done politics and other things. So it's just, I think if somebody comes up, traditionally it's been if somebody comes up with an idea, we can kind of go for it. That's one thing that's nice about having that be our properties. We've got a lot of flexibility to do those kinds of things.
Be super fun to see GPK make fun of blockchain.
Well, we kind of did, that collaboration that we had with Blockchain Heroes was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where we
for sure.
created the story, and really credit to Joel and Travis over there. They did a great job. It was their idea. They have a lot of great ideas, but it's like, imagine what if Atom Bomb got sucked into this vortex into the blockchain, and he became some kind of a blockchain hero. So that was a pretty cool collaboration, and we like doing those kinds of things. I don't know if you guys saw what we did between MLB and Marvel, but we worked with some Marvel artists, some master artists there, to reimagine some of these big baseball stars, like Mike Trout, as Marvel superheroes. And we released that set, and it was very popular and very cool. So we love doing those kind of mashups. We've actually done something between Garbage Pail Kids and WWE. That might be a fun one to look at for blockchain.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. On that note, is there a sneak peek to something down the road, even beyond OS2 right now? Just
nothing that I can show you yet.
Okay, I tried.
You tried. We're totally focused on Series 2 and trying to make that as good as it can be. And we really went to the wire on that one, because there was actually something really big that I wanted to get and I couldn't get, and I'll tell you guys. But what I was trying to do for this set to really draw in those traditional Garbage Pail Kid collectors was to work with John Pound, the original artist, and to get him to do some unique SIGs with some video and maybe images. But cool. He's kind of doing his own thing and on the West Coast. But it would have been great, but I tried.
Maybe for a future one.
Maybe. I'll keep working on it. I'm not going to quit.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure to have you. Mike, do you have any last questions?
People want to know when Battle of the Bands and when I Hate the 80s.
I don't know.
Well, those are definitely in demand, so think about those for the future.
Right.
Fan favorites there.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. It was great to meet you, Tobin.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Johan.
Great to meet you, Tobin. Thanks for coming on. Peace.
My pleasure. Take care.
Yeah.
Peace.